Hello, seventh graders. I want you to take your Loch Ness article and I want you to turn to the page where it says fantastic creatures, which I believe is page 6, right? I want you to take there. And I want you to read this first paragraph right here, right? I want you to read that. Now remember, when we have paragraphs like this, a lot of times, just like in your writing, we have topic sentences that are really telling us what is this paragraph going to be about. I want you to read through here, and then I want you to underline the topic sentence that tells us what this whole section is going to be about. So the heading is fantastic creatures, which is always a clue, or generally a clue. So let's read through it, just the first section, and see if we can figure out what the topic sentence is here. So it says, for thousands of years, people around the world have been telling stories of mysterious creatures. Some of these mythical beasts are obviously fictional, as fantastic as Norbert, Hagrid's pet dragon from the Harry Potter series, or the fairies from Cassandra Clare's Mortal Instrument series, but some creatures of myth and legend have turned out to really exist. All right, I want you to underline the section in that paragraph that's really the topic sentence. It's telling us what this whole section is going to be about. So when you see the sentence, I want you to underline it. All right, if you underlined this, you were exactly correct, okay? But some creatures of myth and legend have turned out to really exist. All right, now in the rest of the section, you should be able to find examples. They have to prove that this is actually true. Did creatures of myth and legend really exist? I want you to find 2 examples that this actually happened. And I want you to draw a circle around 2 details that prove this. So I want you to read through here, through this section, and I want you to circle 2 details that prove this. That's the evidence. For hundreds of years, sailors told stories of a hideous creature with a large round head, a jagged-edged beak, and enormous, powerful tentacles. They called this creature the Kraken. Despite hundreds of eyewitness accounts, most people dismissed the Kraken as a tall tale that sprang from the imaginations of homesick, sunstruck sailors. Then, in 1873, a fisherman and his son spotted one off in the waters off Newfoundland, Canada. After what they said was a struggle with the creature, they managed to cut off a 19-foot piece of tentacle. This slimy specimen convinced skeptics that the stories were true. Scientists gave the Kraken a new name, the giant squid. Years later, in 1912, a group of pearl fishermen landed on a small island in what is now Indonesia. The men were relaxing on the rocky shores when one of them heard something approach from behind. He turned and screamed as an enormous lizard, maybe 10 feet long, rushed toward them, its beady eyes glistening with menace. The men managed to escape, but when they got home and recounted their close call, most people didn't believe them. Still, there had been other reports of the giant lizard. In 1926, wealthy adventurer W. Douglas Burton organized an expedition with the American Museum of Natural History. Sure enough, he found a population of ferocious meat-eating lizards, exactly where the fisherman said he would on the island of Komodo. The creatures became known as Komodo dragons. Incredible stories like those of the giant squid and the Komodo dragon have encouraged some men and women to devote their lives to the search for mythical and legendary creatures. These people call themselves cryptozoologists. All right. If you saw examples or specific details of times when creatures of myth and legend turned out to really exist, circle them. All right. The last thing I want you to do, all right, is I want you to look through the whole article. And I want you to find 3 times where somebody or where a group of people went looking for these fantastic creatures. Three times where somebody or a group of people went looking for creatures, right? And then I want you to number them 1, 2, and 3. So in the margins, say this is the first place where somebody went looking for creatures. This is the second place where somebody or a group of people went looking for creatures. This is the third place where somebody went looking for creatures. So look through the whole article. Right? And then look at the headings. Okay? Think about fantastic creatures might be a good place to look, although we did just read it. Did we see anything in there? You might want to look again. Finding proof. Right? That looks like people looking. If you're looking, finding proof, this might be a good place to look as well. Because it could mean people out searching. So use your headings, but look through different places. Okay? 3 different times.